let's look at multiplying fractions and then dividing fractions as well, since those are closely tied. So when I multiply fractions, I am just following that procedure to multiply straight across. This makes sense because of what I understand about multiplying fractions. So if I think about a simple example to get me going, if I ever forget this procedure, I might want to think of something like a half of a half. So a half of a half is the same as 1/2 times 1/2, and that is 1/4. So if I have a half of a chocolate bar, and then I half that again, I now have 1/4 of the whole chocolate bar. So that can be one way to help me remember. So if I'm doing something like 2/3 times 4/5, I'm just multiplying straight across. So 2 times 4 equals 8, and 3 times 5 equals 15. So how does this work again? Remember that I am taking 2/3 of 4/5. So if I had my 4/5 and I were taking 2/3 of them, then I would be splitting each of these into thirds to be able to figure out that it's 8 of those, because that's 2/3 of it. So if I were splitting this into thirds, my 4/5 I had split into thirds, this would be 2/3 of it, which equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of the 15. Or I could look at it a slightly different way and think about 2/3 of each of those 4/5 pieces. So if I had this is not very let me try to make my fifths a little bit more equal. So still not perfect, but so I have my 4/5 is this whole section, right? Not this one. And then if I split once again each of those into thirds and took 2/3 of each piece, I would have 1, 2 for that one, 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 and I would have 2, 4, 6, 8 out of the 15 I made. I could also look at this like an area model, which is everyone's favorite. I could look at 4/5. So here I have 4/5 because it's 4 out of 5 columns. And I have 2/3 of those 4/5. So I'm now looking at 2/3 of those 4/5. And so my answer is right here where it overlaps, 2/3 of my 4/5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8/15. How did I get that 15? Because all together there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces all together. So that's another way that I can look at multiplying fractions.